at you. You won't even look at him.
Oh, come on, tell me. I could use another reason why women won't look at me. Okay, that's like the least fun game ever.
Besides, as soon as my insurance kicks in, I can get all the free operations I want. Okay, I think I'll probably start with that laser eye surgery thing.
What's going on?
Well, Joey's got a really bad hernia, but it's nothing that a little laser eye surgery won't fix. I know it's tough now, but things will get better.
How do you know that? What if it just gets worse and worse and worse to the point where we can't even be in the same room with each other?
I'm not great at the advice. Can I interest you in a sarcastic comment? Some cheese.
Sarcasm. So much sarcasm. From the king of sarcasm. But have you ever wondered what happens in your brain when you throw out a sarcastic remark? Or maybe a bunch of them on a daily basis? Before we get rolling, hi, I am Janvi, and I've always been curious about why we think, feel, and act the way we do. And I love looking into the research behind it. So everything I share here is not just biased opinions or random thoughts. It's actually real science you can trust. And this one's for those of you who are interested in neurobiology or even remotely want to know about the brain processes involved in what we do and who we are with others. As we discussed in the previous video on the basics of sarcasm, by the way, you can check that video out if you've missed it, so that you have a clearer understanding of what we are discussing here. Sarcasm is not just being clever or being witty. Your brain is actually putting serious work into it. We're talking circuits firing, decoding tone, and if it doesn't land right, it's almost like running in a race with your shoes untied. Whoops. So grab your coffee, hold on tight, because now we're getting into what's really going on in that brilliant brain of yours. And also, we'll get into how you can use this razor-sharp form of expression for strengthening bonds, making conversations fun, and also delivering the perfect mic drop moment whenever needed. In one study, researchers found that multiple brain areas, the right prefrontal cortex, superior temporal cortex, the thalamus, and even the basal ganglia were found to play key roles in processing sarcasm. But that's just the warm-up. They also looked at the white matter tracts inside our brain that connect these areas and found that sagittal stratum played a huge role. Think of it as the sarcasm superhighway. The more damage to this pathway, the harder it was to get sarcasm. But wait, there's more. Another study looked at 25 people with prefrontal cortex damage, and those with the right ventromedial lesions really struggled with sarcasm. While other 16 participants with different brain injuries and 17 healthy people passed the sarcasm test, the prefrontal cortex group was just not having it. Actually, scientists are finding that an inability to understand sarcasm can be an early indicator for a brain disease. Sarcasm is not just about catching a tone either. It takes emotional insight and a little thing called theory of mind. That is, being able to see things from someone else's perspective. So if someone doesn't get your sarcastic remarks, you can just chalk it up to their brain wiring at this point. And age makes a difference too. A study of 100+ people from ages 18 to 86 found that older adults have a tougher time detecting sarcasm, especially in verbal conversations. And here's a fun twist. It was not because of memory issues. It was actually because they can't understand your facial expressions sometimes. In fact, a study that analyzed sarcasm in American TV sitcoms pointed out a blank face version of sarcasm, where everything relies on decoding certain subtle expressions on your face. Kind of makes you think how millennials sometimes take offense at Gen Z sarcasm. Right? And here's where it gets interesting. Gender actually influences sarcasm too. It turns out men are more sarcastic than women, especially when they are having a conversation with other men. But women, they tend to be more sarcastic when talking to men than to other women. Who said brain science can't have a social twist, right? And how can we miss out on cultural differences? People in individualistic cultures like the US and Mexico often use more sarcasm than in collectivistic cultures like China and India. But no matter where you're from, mostly people agree that sarcasm is often about just a few laughs here and there and just having a little fun. So next time you toss out one of your sarcastic comments and someone just does not seem to get it, don't worry. Maybe it's their brain, maybe it's their age, or maybe they just need a refresher in Sarcasm 101. Either way, science has your back, and you can go have some fun with it. Talking about fun, sarcasm also helps you find your people. When someone laughs at your sarcastic comments, it's like sparking a secret connection between you two. It's almost like saying, "Oh my god, you get me." That's how you know you've just found a connection that's electric and magnetic, leaving you both wanting a little bit more. But sarcasm isn't limited to bonding when it comes to relationships. It actually plays a very big role when it comes to sustaining those relationships. Sometimes it's the cherry on top, and the other times it's a bitter lime wedge. Let's understand how. Think of it as seasoning. A little dash adds flavor, keeping things lively. But the moment you overdo it, it's like setting your mouth on fire. Excessive sarcasm can simmer with hidden resentment, turning the heat up on tension and maybe even trust issues. Over the time, the person could feel isolated, constantly being on the receiving end of these pointed remarks. An article by Psychology Today also emphasizes that if you and your partner have your own language, this might not be much of an issue, but there can be still risks if you overstep the bounds between sarcasm and rudeness.
I mean, she could be giving birth in the cab.
Oh, Ross, relax. It's probably only like $2 for the first contraction and then 50 cents each additional. What, it's okay when Chandler does it?
You have to pick your moments.
But the simplest advice would be to call it out if you can see that your sarcasm is starting to sting the other person. Because sometimes a little honest talk can be beneficial for everybody. But hey, if sarcasm is not your cup of tea, it's okay. Some things are just not for everyone, and that's fine. But do not use it if you think that it might be problematic, especially when it comes to your personal relationships. If you liked what you learned today, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more fun content. Also, don't forget to drop your best sarcastic comeback in the comments below. I love to read them. I mean, who isn't a fan of a little bit of sarcasm here and there? Thank you for watching, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.